Hello, I'm R.L. Smith. I'm a member of the gospel choir Joyful Voices of Inspiration. We're based in Boston, Massachusetts. And I wanted to take some time to make a video for my other choir members who have asked me, how do you direct a gospel choir? I've been singing in a choir now for 25 years, so I've picked up most of the things. I'm not a professional director. I'm just a singer, but I've studied gospel long enough to understand most of the parts of how a gospel song is directed. So first and foremost, I'd like to just lay out the parts of a song, usually as it unfolds. The first part normally is the introduction, and that is played by the orchestra or the musicians, and it sort of sets the tone, sets the tempo of the song, and gives the choir a little bit of time to get ready to sing. If it's an a cappella song, of course, there is no introduction, and the director will just give the people a count, the choir a count, and then cue them to come in. Very often the song will open up with the chorus. The chorus is the part of the song that tells the general meaning of the song, what it's really all about. And it's revisited usually a few times during the song, interspersed with what they call the verses. Verses, of course, are the song parts that tell the story throughout the song. They're very often sung in solo, although it's not uncommon for a whole choir to sing a verse if there's not a soloist available, or if it's just easier for the choir to sing the verse and the chorus. After a verse, you usually come back to a chorus again. There is a unique part of a gospel song called the special chorus or the special verse. Sometimes that is brought in by the songwriter. It's up to them. In music, it's just called the special. And again, coming out of a special verse, you might go into a chorus. Coming out of a special chorus, you may go into a verse, or you may go into the bridge, which is a part of the song that connects one piece to another. It's usually quite different than the chorus or the verse, and it's relatively short. But it bridges you over to the next part of the song, which very often is the ending part of the song, which is called the vamp. The vamp is the end of the song that repeats over and over and over again, and this is where the song really gets infectious, because the choir will sort of build into the vamp. They'll be swaying, they'll be clapping, it'll go on and on. Very often the audience will come in because they're very simple, usually the vamps, only a few words, and everybody joins in, and it sort of raises the whole energy level of the entire song. And then finally, after you get to the vamp, when the song is ended, perhaps, but rarely, there is something called the outro, and it's just like the intro. It's played by the musicians. Kirk Franklin is known for using outros in his songs. So that's the general structure of a gospel song. Introduction, chorus, verse, bridge, verse, chorus, vamp, and then the end, and an outro. So now we're going to get into actually directing a song and what a choir member may see from the director as you start a song. And the first thing is that as the director comes up in front of the choir, all eyes should always be on the director. If people have been sitting and it's time for them to perform, the first thing, of course, is to get people to stand up. The director will extend his hands and then move his hands down and bring them up, and everybody will rise in time with the director's hands. Conversely, when the song is over and it's time to sit down, the director will raise his hands, look at the choir, make sure everybody's watching, and then put his hands down, and everybody will sit in time with the movement of the director's hands. When you're ready to start a song, the director will stand in front of you. He'll put his hands out like this. He will look to make sure that everybody is watching. The song will start playing, usually the introduction, at which point the director will start giving a little count, perhaps with his hands, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, to get people to know how fast the song is going to go. That's the tempo. And the other part might be just the first words. So they'll give the first words of the song, mouthing them to the choir, so the choir knows where they're going to be. When it's time to come in, the director will take his hands and on what is called the upbeat, everybody will take a breath and then you'll come in. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, breath, ta-da, and you're in. And then you keep on singing, you're probably in the chorus by now. So you're singing along, you're in the chorus, and the song is progressing from chorus to verse to chorus to verse. And here are some basic signs that the director will give you throughout the song just to deal with the dynamics of the song. That is, how loud, how soft, whatever. The first thing, of course, is louder. And if you want it louder, the choir director will usually go like this and step up like that, bring it up, people will raise, sing along, and get louder and louder and louder. Conversely, if you want it, the hands will sort of come into the body, and the director may crouch down a bit to get it softer and softer and softer. If you want it to get immediately soft, the director will hold his finger to his mouth like he's saying shh. And when people see that, they immediately get soft. So it's an immediately cut off to go soft. And then you keep on going softer. If the song is going to get faster, again, the hands will come in like this. If they're going to get slower, the hands will slow down. Just follow the beat of the hand and you can stay on the beat. As you're singing, if the director wants you to hold a note, he'll hold it out like this. And that just means hold the note you're singing until you get a cutoff, which is just a simple thing like that. And so you'll be singing along, faster, 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 slower, slower, louder, louder, softer, softer, hold the note, cut it off. Those are your basic dynamics. Now, throughout the song also, you want to know what part of the song you need to go to next. As I said, there are about 4 or 5 parts of the song, and you have to know whether you're going to keep on going. Because gospel is so repetitive, you can never count on how many times you may go through a chorus or how many times you'll go through the bridge. You have to watch the director on where you're going. When you start a song, well, we've talked about starting it. Everybody knows you start in on whatever that is, usually the chorus. But during the song, very often, you'll come back to the first chorus, and that is called the top of the song. You're singing along, everybody wants to know what happens next, the director pats his head, gives you the upbeat, you come in on top of the song where it began. If for any reason, and it happens a lot, a chorus or a verse needs to be repeated because the director wants to repeat it, or that's the way the song's written, very simply, the director will roll his hands. That just means continue what you're doing. Keep on going, repeat, repeat, repeat. Don't think it's just one time. If the person keeps on rolling their hands, it means just keep on singing the part that you want to sing. There's one exceptional part that's called the tag or a tagline. And sometimes at the end of a verse, or more often at the end of a chorus, the director wants you to just repeat that last line in the segment, in the chorus, or in the verse, and that's called a tag. The tag is very much like a continuation, but it's smaller because you're only doing part of the chorus or part of the verse, and so it's a rolling of the pinkies. Instead of rolling of the whole hands, which means the whole section, rolling of the pinkies just means continue to repeat that last line in the section until I tell you to keep on going. When you need to keep on going and you want to know when you're going to get out if you're repeating, the director will point over his shoulder with his thumb, maybe both of them. That means we're going on to the next part. So get ready. You should know the basic layout of the song. If it's coming out of a chorus and you know you're going to go into a bridge, it means let's go. We're on to the bridge. Or if you're coming out of the bridge, it's on to the vamp. So this always means we're going on. Now, just a note about swaying, because swaying is difficult while you're singing. It's not natural for a lot of people. And very often, the director or somebody else will notice that someone, or maybe several people in the choir, are getting out of sync with the swaying from left to right, to left to right. And it's possible for the director to sort of subtly point this out. So the director may look at you and try to get you in sync, If you're not in sync, the best thing to do is stop, look with your eyes, left and right, sort of see what everybody else is doing, get the general thing, and then move. And now you're back in it, and you don't have to do a thing. It's not a big deal. You just sort of stop. Maybe it looked like the Holy Spirit got you. You look around, and then you're back in. So stop, look, and move. As you're singing, especially towards the end of a song, there's a technique called modulating the song, where the song moves up a half key or more. And lots of songs do this, perhaps several times, and it really is a very effective way of making a song more powerful. You sing a verse, you take it up, okay, you take it up, and so that's the sign to modulate, take it up. And you may sing along and then take it up again. Kurt Carr is famous for this. His songs modulate all the time. The song In the Sanctuary modulates up, I don't know how many times, but it's a lot. So that's how modulation is used. Somewhat tangential to modulation is the idea of inversions. An inversion is when one part starts to sing the other section's part. So, if there's an inversion, the tenors may start singing the soprano's part. The sopranos may take over and start singing the alto's part as they take on another part. So you can see the parts are being inverted. What was soprano is now tenor. What was alto is now soprano. An inversion is noted by this. It's a sign where the hands just flap up and down, two thumbs together, and it means invert, but it means flip. So flip parts. If you think of it that way, we're going to flip parts. Sopranos sing alto, altos sing tenor, etc., etc. So that's the inversion. If there's another inversion where you do it again, of course you do this. If the director wants you to keep on singing once you've started the inversion, you repeat. When you're all done with that, you're going to move on to the next part, move forward. And lastly, going to the vamp. So after the last chorus or the last verse or the bridge, whatever it may be, it's time to go to the vamp. The very end of the song. One way directors will do it is they'll make a V with their fingers. It looks like an inverted L, but it's good enough. If you see this sign, it means we're going to the vamp. So going forward to the vamp, going on to the vamp, and you're doing the vamp. You'll be singing the vamp, everything's okay. May want to modulate, keep on going, louder, softer, faster, slower. Modulate again, keep on singing. Finally, you're going to get to the end of the song. Director's going to make a fist with his hand, or perhaps both hands. That means that the song is coming to an end. Everybody should know how the song ends, at least with the lyrics, but the tempo may change at the end. So you must watch the director once they make the fist, because it may be very quick with a cutoff, or it may slow down and then cut off like this, or it may slow down, the last note is held, and then cut off. So those are the basics of directing a gospel choir. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you find it helpful. Thank you for watching, and enjoy yourself directing your gospel choir.